Greatness is boring. If you want to be great at something, you have to do the boring work day in and day out. Practice can get repetitive or uninspiring because we're focused on getting to the bigger projects, but I will show you that we can make it fun to film yourself and improve your work at the same time. It's important to practice so you gain the experience needed to be ready for your professional work or any project you want to create. So even if we have to practice continuously to reach the level we want, we can make it worthwhile and enjoyable. Greatness is boring, but it doesn't have to be. The best way to practice cinematography and keep it fun is to do something you already enjoy doing while filming yourself. If you love playing sports, create something while you're playing. If you love listening to music, film a scene of you playing a song or an album you love. That was one idea I had to go along with another fun activity I like to do, building Lego sets. I've used my record player many times, and it's something I've enjoyed playing to get creative with my cinematography. I've also missed building Lego sets from when I was a kid, and I got one for my birthday months ago, and finally after all this time, I thought it would be a cool idea to film myself building it, but make it cinematic. Don't do something you find boring to practice your cinematography. It's all about making it fun because you love creating, right? You can take my ideas here and create something to practice your craft. If you end up putting together a mini film from your practice, like I'll share here, you can tag me on Instagram so I can check it out as well. No matter what the idea is, keep the concept simple so you can put more of the creative thinking into how you film it. Now, here's my full process for how I practice and learning from my attempts to improve my cinematography. This whole workflow is something I believe everyone who wants to get into this field should do, because not only do you practice what you do on set, but also what you should do before you even film. I'll first break down my process behind the Lego mini film I created and everything it took to get to the final video. And then I'll also show you a bit of the record player film I made. Once you're set on the ideas you'll practice with, it's time to plan. This part of the cinematographer's workflow is all under pre-production, and here we do more than just shot listing ideas. I use Milanote to help organize all my thoughts, but you can use any tool that works for you. For this Lego building video, I had a lot of ideas, but the actual process was much harder than I anticipated. First, I knew I wanted to film in my room to practice working in small spaces and in a location I don't feel is as stylish as I'd like it to be. Since I'm working with small bricks, I also wanted to focus on improving my close-up shots, finding creative ways of showcasing the build process. To make it feel even tighter, I already knew I wanted to go for a 4:3 aspect ratio. I started working on the first column of the shot list and realized I needed to ensure my lighting and composition ideas made sense. So I would begin doing camera tests as the next stage in my pre-production. You should always do camera tests on a project if you have the extra time before filming. Here, you can experiment with compositions, lighting, lens choice, and any other creative ideas you might want to include in your final image. I knew I wanted a key light, a little bit of a fill so I don't fall into complete darkness, as well as a top light to shine down from above, adding to the look. I also wanted to try attaching a light to my curtain rod in my room. I was seeing if I could put a spotlight attachment as well on the light, but that was too heavy to stay up, so I just kept the reflector on it. This would give me a harsher splash of light onto my shoulders in the final image. As I practiced my shots, I also figured out I wanted a light behind me to the right of the frame, just to add more patterns of light and dark across the image, and that is something I wouldn't have thought of to do without these camera tests. With the lighting figured out, I can experiment with compositions and see what works and what doesn't. I knew I wanted to get at least one movement shot with my slider orbiting around while I finish a certain part of the build. And while testing it, I was happy to see it worked out like I imagined. I also wanted a shot that was filmed below the Legos as they spilled out, and that took some precision to work out. I balanced a piece of glass from a picture frame on 2 tissue boxes so it was leveled properly and messed around with the lens and angles to see what could work. Since it was tight in my room, this was harder than I imagined. I wanted to go back to the shot a few times, but only ended up with one in the final video. I kept shot listing and testing things out, which really made the difference. With all this prep work done, I could move on to actually filming, and these camera tests made it much smoother than it would be without the practice for the practice film. Some shots I imagined were too difficult because of the limits I set on myself, but this Lego set was also just complicated to build on its own, so I just had to cut out shots. Maybe try a simpler build or plan to work on it for a long time. I also wanted to use haze while filming because I like the look it gives, but I soon realized I had a crack near my window which let the atmosphere escape too quickly for me to keep up while filming. I went through the night to finish filming, and all that was left was to get some music to put this together. Even if it's just for practice, you should post your work because you never know who's watching. Here is the final video. With that finished, I thought the video turned out okay, so I wanted to practice again with my trusty record player, which I've used many times, to test some new shot ideas. Now, my favorite artist is Jon Bellion, and I bought his latest album on vinyl and wanted to create a little cinematic video playing it. I made a quick shot list from the inspirations I gathered, and I didn't exactly follow it as I got to the final filming, but it's good to have to fall back on. You don't have to stick exactly to the plan you create, and that's the best thing about practicing, is you can change things on the fly and experiment with what works and see what doesn't. For lighting, I wanted to go for a much simpler and you could say moody look compared to the Lego video. That's another great thing about practicing. You can change up the mood and feel between different attempts to figure out what your taste in cinematography and visual style is that you want in your professional work. I mainly stuck with practical lights and just used small tube lights to enhance what was already there. This was definitely a simpler video to put together as there were fewer moving parts, but sometimes simplicity makes for a better end product. If you want to see the final video the way it was intended, you can check it out on my Instagram. All of this work is to help you improve your craft, and if you're not enjoying this stage in the process, how can you enjoy it when you get to the bigger projects you want to be a part of? All these small steps add up to get you to that stage, and you'll be prepared no matter what gets thrown your way. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and comment down below what you like to film yourself doing when you practice your cinematography. I'll see you in the next one.